gentlemen. Now we're going to begin the session on building sustainable cities, building a greener future with Indian MSMEs. As we face rapid urbanization, environmental degradation, and climate change, the need for sustainable cities is urgent. Indian MSMEs are uniquely positioned to drive this transformation through their innovation, agility, and commitment to sustainability. MSMEs in India are leading the way in green technologies. From renewable energy solutions like solar and wind power energy to energy efficient appliances and sustainable building materials, these enterprises are reducing our carbon footprint and promoting environmental stewardship. By adopting and scaling these technologies, we can make our cities more energy efficient and less reliant on fossil fuels. In conclusion, Indian MSMEs are crucial allies in building sustainable cities and a greener future. Their innovative solutions, commitment to sustainability, and community focus make them vital contributors to our urban landscape. Let us support and celebrate these enterprises as we work together to create cities that are economically vibrant, environmentally sustainable, and socially inclusive. I now request Mr. S.J. Vijay, founder and chairman, Salmon Leap Ventures, to come up on the stage. Mr. Uday Bhaskar Rao Aburu, CEO and Managing Director, IROI Technologies, to come up on the stage as well. Mr. Vinod Vasudevan, Chief Revenue Officer, AIROI Inc., to come up on the stage. Mr. Jitesh Srivastav, Country Head, Franchise Rocking Deals Circular Economy Limited, to come up on the stage. Mr. Vinod Vasudevan, Chief Revenue Officer, AIROI Inc. Mr. Vinod Vasudevan is a seasoned business leader with a strong background in marketing, sales, and operations across sectors like telecom, IT, and education. As CRO at AIROI Inc., he drives strategic initiatives in AI, IoT, and carbon emission reduction. His career highlights include leadership roles at iWire Technologies and iWire Global, focusing on IoT services and healthcare access through digital initiatives. Sir, we would like you to speak a few words.
So good evening, everybody. And I hope after the lunch break, a good lunch, you'll are now wide awake. Plus some of you have had your tea and coffee, which would have woken you up. The good news is that I'm not going to talk more than 10 minutes. The reason being my knees are shaking out of nervousness. And if I talk more than 10 minutes, you will mistake me for Michael Jackson dancing on the stage. So I'll try and keep it short. I represent a company called AIROI. The full form is basically the use of artificial intelligence to improve your return on investment. So we started around 5 years back. We are a US-based company, but most of the teams sit in India. We operate from Chennai, Hyderabad, and Bangalore. We began our journey in AI and ML, and a couple of years ago, we brought technology into the carbon capture, the carbon sequestration, and carbon trade space. We started off with smart cities, which my previous speaker talked about, wherein we looked at smart street lights. The shift from CFL to LED or the use of IoT in LED can reduce your power consumption by almost 30%. And that saving of 30% gets converted into carbon credits, which can be monetized by selling the credits that you accrue over a period of time. We also moved into things like electric vehicles, electric charging stations, not smart agriculture, but agriculture as a whole, covering tea industry, coffee industry, coconut plantations here in India as well as in Africa. We also brought in smart buildings. One of my previous speakers spoke about smart cities and smart buildings, wherein the use of IoT again helps you reduce the power consumption by almost 25 to 30% by monitoring the HVAC, the outside temperature, light, the occupancy level, the internal air conditioning temperature, and so on. Here again, the power that is saved gets converted into carbon credits, which gets converted into monetization, which you can monetize over a period of time. So this is the various platforms that we operate upon. We are also into air quality analytics, where we have done a fairly large pilot with the Bombay Municipal Corporation, where in 5 different locations we have installed, through a partner of ours, air quality purification systems. We monitor the PM 2.5, PM 10, SOx, NOx, and other parameters which affect human life, thanks to the industrial pollution as well as the heavy vehicular traffic which we see in most of our metro cities. As on date, the project is working extremely well, and we are looking forward to getting many more such tenders, not just from Bombay. We are also in talks with Ayodhya, Korba, and Delhi, and hopefully Bangalore, which is again a very polluted and very traffic-intense city to live in. So, what are carbon credits? To those of you who don't know much about this, because it's a widely talked about topic, but not very well understood by a majority of people, although it is a very hot topic these days. So carbon credits are credits which are earned by reducing your greenhouse gas emissions. Now this could be directly if you're driving a fuel-based vehicle, that is a petrol diesel vehicle, and you switch to an electric vehicle, you automatically reduce your air pollution. If you use IoT sensors in your buildings to manage your HVAC, that is the air conditioning system, you again reduce your power consumption. Power in India comes largely from thermal, coal-based power plants, which are huge polluters. So by using, by changing the practices which you follow, or by improving the efficiency of your manufacturing units, you can reduce your power consumption or your greenhouse gas emissions, which in turn gives you carbon credits, which you can monetize over a period of time. So the use or getting into carbon credits is basically an additional revenue spinner, either for a private entity or for a government organization. Now, 1 ton of carbon dioxide which is saved, which is not emitted, is called 1 carbon credit. It is traded today in the international market anywhere from $1 per ton to around $15, $20 per ton. My previous speaker spoke about plastic waste. Plastic waste is something which is the need of the hour, because all of us use plastic. The bottles from which we have been drinking water, these get thrown into rivers. Those rivers go into the ocean, or they're just thrown into the garbage and end up in a landfill, which spoils not just the groundwater, but the environment around us. Plastic credits, or plastic per se, can be recycled into fabric. Many of the shirt buttons which we wear are made out of recycled plastic. Today's technology also allows you to make clothes with plastic, and I believe some people are already using this. Plastic credits, of course, get a much higher value. It goes anywhere from $100 per ton to around $500 per ton. So that's huge money as far as plastic collection and recycling is concerned. So carbon credits or plastic credits basically follow a cap and trade system. It's mentioned over here. You have a voluntary carbon market where private organizations or individuals or MSMEs can use, can decide to reduce their carbon emission, reduce their dependency on power, and reduce the overall negative impact on the environment, and claim carbon credits. So for an MSME, especially for those people who are looking at exports, either to the EU or to the US, getting your carbon zero certification and getting what is also known as environment, social and governance certification becomes critical. In the EU, if you are exporting, there is something called a CBAM, which is the Carbon Border mechanism. You cannot export to the EU from probably 2025 or 26 unless you are carbon neutral. So all those MSMEs, companies who want to export, even if you're dealing with large corporates in India, you need to be carbon neutral because as per the Government of India regulation or mandate, the top 1,000 companies listed in the NSE have to be ESG compliant, which means they need to be carbon neutral. So at AIROI, as I mentioned earlier, we are a technology company and we have brought technology into the carbon space. We have developed something called a green carbon wallet, which is basically a platform for clients to enter their data. Once the data is entered, they are able to see or able to track every stage of the process. It's a very long drawn process, often going up to a year based on the availability of data at the client end. Once the data gets uploaded on the system, we do an internal desk audit. We do a training of the client. We handhold you throughout the entire process. There is a third-party auditor. These third parties are appointed by the UNFCCC registries, approved registries. They come do a physical as well as a desk audit of the data that has been provided. If they are satisfied and if all the documents and the data matches and is found to be accurate, they certify the project for carbon credits. So this is what the platform does. It gives you complete access to all the data which you have, collected over a period of time and which you have entered into the system. That's a micro organization, right? MSME, so she's in the micro. So this platform allows you to enter the data. It allows you to verify the data that is there. It allows you to see how much of carbon credits have been accrued or accumulated by your organization. We also trade in the carbon credits on your behalf because most of you are in different industries, so this is not your focus area. We trade in it for you, and then there is a revenue share. So you get to know how many credits were there, how much, at what value it is going in the market, how much has been sold, and how much money has been transferred into your account. So it's a 100% transparent system that we have developed. The next big thing is the ESG, which stands for Environment, Social and Governance. Every single company in the West needs to have this certification. It's either a GRI or a GHG or an ESG certification, depending upon where you are. In India, it's called BRSR. The platform that we have developed takes care of all the three scopes, that is scope 1, scope 2, scope 3, wherein here again, we handhold the organization. We understand from the senior management what is the organization's goal. We train the entire staff in the organization's goal to becoming net zero. The platform allows you to enter the data into our system. It is not just the organization which needs to go in for ESG. They are vendors or they are suppliers, which, as we have been discussing since morning, is largely the MSME sector, need to also be carbon neutral in order to be a supplier to most of the large Indian corporates today. Within the next 3 to 4 years, it would become mandatory for every organization in India, whether you're large, medium or small, to have an ESG certification or to be carbon neutral. So the faster you guys start, the better it is for you because it's a long drawn process. It's a tedious process, but it's a process that is worthwhile because it makes our home, the planet Earth, a better place to live in. Humans, as the previous speaker said, are the ones who are responsible for polluting the earth, and we have the responsibility on us to make sure that the other life forms enjoy the beauty that is our planet. These are the kind of dashboards that the platform gives you. We use scientific-based analytics. So an organization decides that within the next 10 years, it's going to reduce its carbon emission from, let's say, 100 tons to 0. Each and every department, including the transport used by employees to come to the office, the manufacturing processes, how does it market the product, what kind of energy consumption is there, what kind of manufacturing process is there, which supplier is supplying what goods at what emission levels, everything gets tracked in our platform. These are the various projects that we are currently undertaking across the globe. We have recently signed up with Nepal for carbon credits on hydro electricity supply to India. We have large estates, tea estates and sisal estates, plus natural forests in Africa. Across India, the rest of the solutions that we have, from solar plants to rooftop, because a lot of incentive is being given by the government now for individual homes and buildings to go in for solar to reduce their dependency on electricity, normal grid-based electricity. So whatever you invest, you recover through the sale of carbon credits or plastic credits over a period of time. So it's basically a win-win situation for all of us every step of the way. This is the process we follow. We first sit with you to understand what is it that you're doing. We then provide end-to-end support. There's a lot of documentation that is required by the registry to approve the project. There's a lot of data that is required. That data needs to be audited and verified by third-party auditors over whom we have no or very little control. So we handhold you to the entire stage. We train you in what the auditor will come and check, what documents are required. These are called stakeholder consultations. And once that audit is done, you get the project certified and the carbon credits are issued. And then, you take that money and go home. So thank you. Thanks not just to all of you sitting here, but thanks to the organizers also. Santosh and GCP IT, the state government and the central government for the wonderful policies it's coming out with as far as the MSME sector is concerned. Thank you all.
I request all the speakers to stand for the group photo.